how's it going, guys? It's November. It's been about a month since Storm over Rivayle has come out, and I think it's been a pretty good expansion. I really have enjoyed the vehicle decks, and especially after the latest patch, been playing a bunch of aggro decks. Has been super fun. Now, the new expansion is rumored to be revealed or released around the 18th or 20th, something like that. That means that we should get the reveals relatively soon. I wanted to do my videos on my wishes or expectations of the mini, before we have seen any cards. Now, the mini expansion is pretty small. We only get 2 cards per class and a neutral, so unlike a big expansion, we can't just hope that things magically change. And for example, there's some class like Bloodcraft where I think Blood needs more than 1 or 2 cards to really do something, because like you can support the Wrath package. I mean, Gravy's better, but the deck still feels not great at all. It needs a lot more, and other things like Vengeance are pretty much non-existent. You definitely can't fix Vengeance with just 1 card. Control Blood also doesn't really work out, so we'll see. Class like Bloodcraft, maybe an expansion they get to shine. For now, there are things that I want to see in the new expansion, which should come out relatively soon. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about, it might be pretty obvious, but I think it still needs to be said. I definitely want to see more vehicle support. At the start of the expansion, we had old decks dominate. Things like, Shadow and the old Sword were like the top decks. Now, since the patch, and it's been about a month and so, like things have changed. I think the vehicle cards are a lot better than people gave them credit for. I mean, they are good. The decks are somewhat playable. It definitely does feel like we need a little bit more for everybody, I would say. A comparison that I like is like Machina since Steel Rebellion, where Machinas came out and they were playable, like Machina was a deck, but it wasn't until later on when they got more support in the future sets and through mini expansions that Machina decks really took off and became like, part of the meta. Now I've been playing a bunch of aggro decks. I think that, Dragon, Rune, Shadow, Forest can all play like aggressive vehicle focused decks because they have good vehicle support, and I want to give big shout outs to the neutral vehicle package. I think, it's pretty good. The Bandit, Adventurer, and the Lizard are like fantastic cards. So I want to see things that let the classes take like advantage of them, right? Whether it be activators or payoffs. Things like Terra Nova are fantastic when you have like a Chef and a Bandit. It's super good, right? I want to see more of that, right? Maybe more things that can be payoffs for if you're playing all these aggressive cards and you're buffing your board, things like that. So I definitely want to see more vehicle support. I think the cards are good, and we just need like a little bit more, a push in the right direction. A joke that I say in the stream a lot is maybe like a vehicle all Smorkinus, something like that. Like all Machinas really showed up and really tied everything together, and maybe he was too good. I don't want like the meta to just be nothing but vehicle decks, but it would be nice if the vehicle decks could be taken seriously and they could be a serious part of it. And since I've been playing so much of it lately, I really do think those classes are really super close. I specifically really like Reggie. Aggro Dragon is actually not bad. It's just, as it's a bit high roll as an aggro deck, but I think if we had just a bit more, like it could be playable. So I definitely want to see more vehicle support, and I think we'll likely get it. It's just so obvious, right? There's no way they wouldn't keep supporting the vehicle package. I definitely want to see it. Alright, for my next topic, this one is a bit more specific. I still want to see more Axel support for Forest. Now, I've been playing, or I played in the past, a bunch of like this board-based Forest. We used to have Zeus, and there was like good Evo synergy, and there's like this Axel where you get to, get free Evos and card draw, and you get benefits out of it, like Chipper Skipper. A lot of good stuff, but it was always missing something. The deck lost Zeus, and although we gained Lucifer and Lucifer is super cool, there's not enough Evo synergy right now to make Lucifer be a thing. And while, in the mini, I don't expect Evo to take over, I definitely want to see more Evo support in the future, and I think we'll get it. Evos is just such a iconic part of Shadowverse. Lucifer just came out. I'm sure they'll support in the future, but right now I want to see support for the Axel for Forest. I think, the cards are good, and there's a bunch of them. There really are. They're really good too. Like, they're good standalone cards. We've seen them played in other decks. The Wolf, Lionel. I could go on and on. There's so many good ones. It's a shame if we have like all these great Axel cards and Axel synergy for Forest, but you just can't make like an actual Axel Forest deck because we're missing, I guess, a big win condition. I think that is one of those decks where it's just 1 or 2 cards away, give them like a good, solid legendary. I'd really like those type of decks, and it'll be something different that Forest could do. I'd like to see Axel Forest be a thing in the mini expansion. Another deck or archetype that I'd like to support in the expansion is Portalcraft with their puppets, or 20 Followers Destroyed deck, whatever you want to call it. I really was so impressed by Ilganu. She is such a cool character, amazing card design, and really powerful. Like, Ilganu has been amazing, absolutely love her. It's been a blast just putting Ilganu in like all Portal decks. But she has that synergy with the 20 Followers Destroyed, and there's Ice Shield, who is the same. Portal is going to go in a different direction once they lose the Ragnar sisters. They'll lose access to those OTKs, but surely they'll still support, you know, a puppet or a bunch of followers being destroyed archetype, and I'd like to see it get a little bit more. I have no idea what it even could be, because, you know, we have the payoffs in the Ilganu and the Ice Shield, so maybe just more ways to get followers destroyed. And I mean, the most obvious way to support that is puppets. It just makes sense, right? Get a bunch of puppets, they can die, and then you get to 20 followers destroyed. It sounds good. Honestly, Puppet Portal is already playable today. You can play Control Portal, you could play Ilganu and Ice Shield in other decks like Artifacts, they work there. So I really like those cards, and I think their design is super cool. It's like you work the entire game and then you get the payoff. It's type of like combo, quote unquote, that I like in Shadowverse, that you have to work for, right? It's not free. And I definitely want to see more of that in the future, especially since we're going to lose the Ragnar sisters, which it just feels like Portal was relying on that for too long. So give me more 20 followers or more destroy effects. Well, those are pretty much the main things that I want to see in the main expansion. I really think it has been a good expansion, Storm over Rivayle. It has been a lot of fun, especially after the last patch, which was fantastic. Before you know it, we'll have a brand new expansion at the end of the year, and I look forward to that. But I hope the main expansion is good, and, you know, it gives us the content and the variety that I hope to get, you know, right before the new expansion. So it should be a good main expansion. I look forward to it. When the cards come out, we'll do reviews, and then we'll play the new decks. As a small note, I hope that Cygames doesn't forget about Rally and Maneuver. You know, those are really cool keywords that interact with cards in a very cool way, but there's just not a lot of Rally support, and then we just got Maneuver, and there's only 2 cards in game with Maneuver. So it would be cool to see more of those. I would not mind that at all. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and thank you guys so much for watching.